What's the buzzword? Yeah? Canva. Oh, okay. Canva can solve all the problem, right? Okay? Canva. So this one same. I use Canva. The picture. So settle, game over. Okay? So that's how easy is it to implement AI. AI offers you to do what? Coding, right? Habis lah, when you do coding by AI, so what will happen? You lose our job lah. So how are you going to handle all this situation? Okay, just imagine normally when people talk about AI, it comes from somewhere lah, from home normally. The Prime Minister also talk about AI, right? So everybody must use AI. So you go to a conference like today, okay, maybe AI conference and so on, people get excited. And then they come back, right? They say that everybody now must use AI. Okay? Use Canva, use ChatGPT, use whatever it is, and then you will solve the problem. Okay? So who will be very excited about this? Top management happy. They say we are using AI to solve the problem. Okay? But who will be fearing about this AI? Takut. Yeah, that's now we talk about programmers. Who else? How about architects and people like us? Are we impacted by AI as well? Don't know. Maybe lah, maybe. So that's the thing. So the CEO gets excited, then he said that come, everybody do use AI, and then you expect everybody to implement AI and so on. But it doesn't work that way too well, right? Or what happens is, they will point to whom? Which department? Oh, IT. So here everybody is from IT, is it? Anybody from non-IT? Ada. That's why you're coming to the right conference today. Okay. Today I'll be just covering few topics here. Okay. Then some topics will be very boring, then just keep it that. But let's keep it interactive. If there's anything that you want to ask and so on, we can do that. Okay, when we talk about AI and so on, so it's whether you need to know whether what is the hype or is it reality. Okay? Many leaders, when they did the survey, saying that, wow, the future of the business will definitely have to use AI. Agree or not agree? Okay. Not agree. Okay. Like it or not, you need to use AI and so on. But there are some survey done by entity and Wall Street Journal saying that AI is the future of competitiveness Okay, so if you got AI, you should be better off But again, at the same time, saying that 95% of the AI project doesn't do very well. Okay, very well. I think maybe in the morning and the afternoon there were some talks about this. And most of the failure is due to ownership, alignment to the business, and so on. Okay, so we look at that. Okay, when you talk about the promise and the pitfall, so of course, when you talk about AI, you need to understand what is the business problem that we are going to resolve. Okay, the easiest part is the technology. You can go and buy a lot of technology there. Okay, in order for you to solve the problem. But you need to align the AI strategy to the investment. Okay? Then of course there's a lot of challenges in your implementation. Okay? And how do we move away from this hype or the experimenting of AI to reality? So these are the missing gap. Okay? That means you do a good job, you implement and so on. By the way, this picture is from ChatGPT also. See? There's no traceability to the KPI or the business outcome. You say that. It's very important on that. Of course, when you talk about AI, the most important part is also your data. Do you have enough data to do AI? Okay, you can have the tools, but do you have the data? Do you have your data architecture in your organization? Okay, so that you know that for a particular use case or business outcome, what are the relevant data that you need to use to churn out your prediction, the forecasting, and so on. Okay. And of course, then we need to look into the business model innovation. Okay. It's not just technology innovation, but it's looking into the way that you're going to do things. Okay. It will change the way you do business in the future. So this is where the EA comes in, enterprise architecture. Okay? Because enterprise architecture does very well in aligning the business with IT. That's why they have these 4 domains: business, data, application, technology. Business domain is very simple. Belongs to the business, the users. Okay? The application and technology belongs to us. How about data? Or shared. Shared. Okay, it's shared. But the real owner is still business. Okay? So don't fall into the trap that they say that every data is actually handled by IT. Okay? Fine, we take care of the IT that is in the system. Okay? But overall, the data architecture, okay, should be owned by the business. Okay, and that is very important. Okay, so for EA, you have this business and IT alignment, you have the governance process to make sure that everything is connected and talking to each other. Okay, then you look into how you map your capabilities. Okay, so this is one term that you know, business capabilities. Okay, you'll be looking at your business capabilities, and how do you look at your business value? Okay. Who has attended any of these EA courses here? Any EA courses? Okay, I need to test you guys. Okay. This is business value. When you attend this, what now they call it BITRA or last time BITAS, there is 5 ROI by Jericho. So they'll be talking about the business value. So us, being the IT people, we need to understand what is the business value for the organization. Okay. I run a lot of workshops and so on, discovery workshops in terms of the business transformation or even IT or digital transformation and so on. Very often, when I ask them about the business, okay, what is their revenue like? What is their strategy of the business and so on? Very seldom we get the IT people that knows about all these things. But what they are interested is in their technology things, their technical things and so on. Okay, so this is something that we need to look into, how we actually fix the problem of having a very successful AI. Okay, so there are some tips here. So you need some pillars for you to look into how actually you can go about implementing AI. Okay. Okay, there are 3 pillars. We are talking about this strategic alignment and also business capability mapping. Okay. So before this, we hear a lot on BITAS. BITAS is Business Data Application Technology, the 4 domains in enterprise architecture. When moving towards AI and any other digital transformation and so on, you'll be hearing more of this business capability. That means the focus is very much on business architecture, right? Of course, the other part is too fast. Yeah, the other part is also, of course, you must have a sound technology. Is your technology now AI ready? So this is something that you need to understand. AI ready. Okay, so this technology will be linking back to your capability. Is it able to provide your capabilities and solve the problem? And very important is the integration between others. The data sits in everywhere. Okay, internal, external. Even internal sits in many other departments and so on. And we know we have this challenge of getting data and so on. But do you know what data is needed to run your AI? Okay? To run your business and so on. So this is where this cross-functional integration and change enablement, that means change management, Okay, how does it change from before AI and after AI? This is something that you need to also think about. Very important. If you look at the business side of it, use case is the buzzword now. Okay, when you define a business problem or what you're going to solve in AI, you need to know you have to have your use case. Where are you going to implement your AI? Are you able to answer that? All of us still have a problem. We work too much, right? Can we have a work-life balance? What is that? Good. Work-life balance. You know, in the hospital, one of the implementation previously, the nurses is having a very hard time to get their leave approved or leave plan way up front. You cannot plan like say Christmas is coming, or you plan very much early, or you can get your time. No, you can only freeze within the next 2 weeks. Lovely. Why? Because patient can come in, but people get sick anytime, right? Then suddenly you need to go for operation. There you are. Oh, this nurse available, go. Okay. So how AI can help them? This was even before the hype. Using enterprise intelligence, you are able to detect or provide this kind of value. Human resource saying that leave management, no problem. We have a system that can take care of all the leave management. But what's the point? You apply for your leave, end of the day, you don't get the leave as well. So they are so proud saying that we don't need any more digitalization because we have done everything. So this is where we told that when you want to set up your beauty roster, to do the planning and so on, how does the system talk to the HR system to know whether if you plan for that date, who's available and who's not going to be available? If the person is not available, who else can actually ganti or replace the person and so on? You have the profiling, you know, the algorithm or the formula that can actually help you to resolve that. Like that. Oh, that is EA. That is why you need EA to resolve this kind of issues and so on. Okay. Of course, you need to align to your strategic level. Even at the national level, they have this. I'm sure in your own organization, nowadays you will slowly get this. Hey, do AI, I want to see AI happening and so on. Very easily, by Canva, solve the problem. Okay? Because they simplify everything. You know, like last time, when you have this wide area network, okay, your list line and so on. Wow, why you have to pay so much for this 100 meg and so on? Why unify with cheap? Because people will simplify things. They say that Canva can do this, can do programming and coding and so on for you. Okay, last time I used Photoshop, now no need to use Photoshop. Everything can be done. Okay, so it's different if you do it individually versus at the enterprise level. So this is where we need to align what is needed at the strategic layers. Okay. Then of course you need your tools to handle. If everything can be done, it must be done using some kind of tool. If not, you still go back to working for the system. Maybe you take data from system A, data from system B, do consolidation, matching, and then you go and input into your dashboard. You work for the system, not the system work for you. Right? So this is something that you need to use appropriate tools to resolve the problems. Okay, when you talk about technology, this one is, I don't need to elaborate more. I just want to touch on this data architecture. Okay, there's a lot of new tools, a lot of techniques, machine learning, all this artificial intelligence and so on. But very importantly in your technology, make sure that you handle your data architecture and how you handle all your master data, transaction data and so on. So this part is something that we are very, very, very familiar. Okay. And finally, we are talking about the cross-functional integration. This is where we need to be more business-centric. Okay. If you need to go for business classes, go for it. If you want to do your MBA, go for it. Okay. Actually, I did my MBA after working for maybe 15 years or so. That really gave me a very different mindset, okay, and helped me to move even further up in my career and also in providing the value to the businesses. Okay. So understanding the value stream, how you map your organization, who are responsible to do what, and so on. Okay, this is something that you need to have. Okay, and organization, you have many other units that handle many things. To see the full picture, that's where normally the EA will come in. Normally, if you go to any organization, they can only describe very well in terms of their own department or divisions. When you talk about the entire organization, that's why you call people like us, ATD, to come and help you to see the full picture and so on. Okay? But this is something that actually you can do on your own. Okay? And also playing this role of putting people together. Okay? How do you integrate the business, technology data, okay, into solving a common problem, a common business problem. Okay? And of course, you can use tools. Okay, like today we have our sponsors, BizDesign is one of the tools that actually can help you to do a lot of analysis about your organization. Okay? Actually, there are two things about AI and EA. We are talking about using enterprise architecture to enable to make AI more successful. Okay? As compared to, even in your own enterprise architecture, you can have your own AI in the enterprise architecture to give you the insights, give you the knowledge to solve your business problems and also technology problems. Another area is you must be able to see how you can measure your values, okay, business outcome. So business outcome is the North Star. So when you talk about AI, you need to have this knowledge about business outcome. Okay. So what is business outcome? So that's why if you go for that course, it will tell you what are the business outcome. Okay, the business value that you can derive. Okay. And this is the challenging part. And this is where you get closer to the business or your top management. Okay, in resolving business problems and using AI also to provide new opportunities. Okay, that will in turn give you the business value. Okay. So setting clear objectives, not technical objectives, but very much on business objectives to resolve business problems, like looking into customer experiences. Okay, a lot of some of them they will say that get the chatbot and solve your customer experience. Okay. Anybody had very good experience with chatbot? Or you don't have very pleasant experience with chatbot? Why? Just keep repeating, asking you the same thing. Can you read out your IC number? Last four digit. Oh, I can't hear you. Can you speak a little bit slower? Wow, it will take. Then you pause for a while. It means you're doing some searching. And then, oh, your balance is this much, and so on. But it's important to have that. But what kind of tools or what kind of problems are we solving? Okay, this is very easy to look at. Okay, the other one will be your operational excellence. Okay, this part. This is something internal. Okay, customer experience as well is external. So operational excellence that you need to do. What are we trying to resolve? Are we trying to lower the cost? How can we lower the cost? Don't do things. Okay, you have a training budget. You can save cost by not going for training. Okay. Or can you measure now if whoever that goes for the training, what are the things that they can resolve? Okay, which are the key areas that actually you train people? Like say for instance, people send you for what? You send people for AI training. So what's next? Okay. So do you have a HR AI or HR analytics that will tell you all these things? Saying that you send this guy, because this guy work too much, that's not who work too much, no work-life balance, no time for training as well. Okay? That's why he's at the same level. So if you train this person, will the productivity go up? Will the company benefit or not? So these are the use cases that actually you can think about. You must ask questions. So if any of the bosses come and say, hey, let's do AI, then these are the things that actually you can reflect back with them. Okay? Or if you have this kind of information, it's even better. So you can propose to them, okay, let's do this and solve this problem. Okay? These kind of business values and so on. Okay? Then AI is something that you use to link all these initiatives from the technology for your processes, from the data that you have, to see how does it end up with your motivations, okay, your values. KPI, the key buzzword. When you commission a software, consider KPI done right. Okay, you do programming and so on, so you commission, go live, go live. So solve problem. Cut the ribbon, celebrate big time, right? Maybe it's part of the journey. So importantly, we must understand that KPI is very important, and until you have the outcome. Okay? Like say, how do you define your customer satisfaction? Whether your cost really goes up, goes down because of your implementation and so on. Okay? So you need to have some kind of knowledge how to calculate things. And don't forget, calculate before and after. Don't focus on only after. Because people don't forget, don't remember what it was before. Like in the Malay proverb, they say, beri betis, nak paha. Bila bagi paha, dia nak macam-macam. So they forget about the hardship. So once you have done a good job, they just remember the good job. And then they want more. Okay? So you need to measure before and after so that you can know what is the percentage, growth or increment. And there will be a level of, max that you can hit. Then what happened after the max? Then you need to innovate, okay, to see what other things that actually you can do. Okay? So in the public sector, there's a lot of citizen services, okay, that you can do prediction. If somebody got a summon, what is the percentage that the person will pay on time? Sitos, or even the normal traffic. Okay? Oh yeah, suddenly you come back, parking ticket. That pays for discount. So pay for discount and so on. Okay? So other things, how about the experience from the customers? Okay? When they apply for certain license and so on. Okay? The other day I was talking to this person, these traders, okay, the nasi lemak. Then I was asking, hey, why don't you use the kiosk, the new kiosk that they've built? Oh, it seems that they actually applied for the license for Niaga 1 year ago, and now they introduced another license. One is last time you can have a license, then you can Niaga, you trade and so on. Now they will check whether you are eligible to use the kiosk. A lot of you support, and then they say that they will look into your history, whether there's a lot of queue, are you local there, or you are from outside and so on. Okay, but it was there, invested already. Okay, and people are still waiting because legally they can't resell because they don't have the license. Okay? So there's a lot of impact that actually takes place. So if you can understand all these problems and impacts, then it will help you to make decision faster. And what are the data that you need to actually solve these problems? Okay. Of course, there's another area that you can talk about your own enterprise architecture. In the financial institution, a lot of this AI is being used for fraud detection. Okay, so they use that to understand your credit scoring and so on. And now they have a new way of giving a lower rate of credit. Okay, last time you go to the bank, now you can go to pay later one, the pay later. Something pay later. You can pay later. Grab, Shopee, now Boost, everybody is doing. You can pay later. And they also offer some kind of credit. Okay? So they use this technology and profile the people because they know that, oh, this guy buys a lot of things, pay on time, good credit guy, so I can offer more and more credit. So they use AI to follow this person, offer more services, more products, and for them to make more money. Okay? At the same time, they can actually look into how to reduce this kind of frauds and so on. Okay? And of course, there will be certain areas that you will be looking into your compliance, and so very importantly, the traceability. So in AI, there's one thing called forensics. You must be able to do forensic in your data to look into all kind of traceability. Okay, so that you can find the source or the root cause of problems and how you can overcome it. Okay, so how do we move forward? So just to quickly recap. Okay, so enterprise architecture has its own advantages. Okay, looking into the strategic business alignment. So when we implement EA, it's always talking about strategic things. Okay, so we need to be more strategic than operational. We also need to have your own structured transformation approach. This is the question that I always ask the business stakeholders, okay, even the top leaders. You want to do transformation, what methodology do you use to transform? You know, for programming and so on, we have our methodology, right? The DLC, waterfall, agile, and all those things. Even EA has a lot of framework. Okay? When we talk about transformation, how actually you go about doing your transformation? So we told them the answer is EA. Okay? Because EA looks at the entire enterprise, okay? The business and also technical. You look into your baseline or SEs, okay? And then you look into your future or future ready things, future ready services, future ready technologies and so on. And then you define your roadmap, how to have your journey from your current to the future. Okay? And you look into your, how do you integrate all the data to enable your EA to resolve your business problems. Okay, so we have AI, EA, okay, same thing. Okay. Okay. So from strategy to execution, this is where EA will help you. Okay, understanding your strategic planning. So if before this you're not into strategic planning or strategies, now we have no choice. How does the AI, okay, effectively contribute to your strategy? Okay. And what is the role? And how do you scale your AI? So right now the trend is AI. In the future, we don't know what's going to happen. But if we have a sound foundation on enterprise architecture, at least any changes that happens, you're able to go back and look at your organization, your business capabilities, whether the current capabilities are able to handle the changes or not. So if it's very much on just one part, like say last time when we had this COVID, okay, a lot of focus was shifting towards IT so that people can actually enable people to continue your business operations and so on. But do you know that whether your system can be made available to work from home or not? The answer is the HR say cannot. So we blame the business people, the policies and so on, saying that the policy now cannot allow people to work from home, okay, because there's no monitoring and things like that. Okay, so we shy away from providing solutions. If you know what is the future ready things that can be done, whether your application is scalable, can be future ready for your AI, for your new things that takes place, the next generation of technologies, then you are able to be at the same level. Okay. So when you talk about maturity, we say that IT maturity must be one level higher than the business maturity. If not, it will always be the catching up game. When business wants AI, we say, wait, I need to go and do something, go buy something, configure something, then only you get a solution. If you are future ready, so when you do EA, the future or target architecture, we will think about all these future ready services that's enabled by your technologies and so on. When we did some of the project, we say that we cannot provide all with mobile solutions yet because the network coverage is not there. So how? You do offline compatible. There they got some. Can you offline compatible? But when things are ready, can you just switch? You should be able to switch now. If not, then you say that if I need to go and tweak a lot of things, then defeats the purpose. So you need to be future ready. You need to think about all the possible things or the future innovation things that the business can offer. Okay? And don't forget about looking into your risk management and also how you can increase the value. Okay? Sometimes you do too much, you forget about the risk. So what happened? You buy a lot of things, at the end of the day become white elephant. Wow, the color also white. Okay. A lot. Okay. So this has a lot of impact to the businesses. So I don't know whether it impacts your bonuses, okay, your future salaries and so on. But one thing I noticed that a lot of people that I know here, actually they grow up a lot in terms of their career after adopting EA. Okay, and I'm sure after adopting your AI, your career will be even more brighter. Okay. Okay, so for conclusion and next steps, some key takeaways. Okay. So AI is still considered an important element for your transformation and enablement. Okay, like just now they were saying that for future competitiveness, you need AI. Okay. How to start? Where to look for? Focus on the business outcome. Focus on your business pain points. Okay. So AI, you need to start with that. Okay. Business pain point, not with the technology, not with Canva, ChatGPT, and so on. And make use of the enterprise architecture to piece everything together. Okay. So that it gives you a structured methodology, way of thinking, and so on. So basically, it's not about just algorithm by itself. It's about a lot of alignment. Okay, alignment to the business goals, change management, and also business capabilities. So what to do next? How do I start? Okay. So if you want to get EA tools and so on, we have our partners, okay, who provide the EA tools, some AI tools also. If you want to learn about all these EA skills and so on, you can go to ISA, you can training up and so on. But of course, if you want to put everything together, you come to ATE. We will help you to, okay, jumpstart, okay, by having a specific workshop. We call it architecting business transformation. This is where we will help you to plan with the business people to look into your pain points, your business problems, your business model, look into your value stream from end to end, okay, of your entire ecosystem, and then look into how are the business models being implemented, what are the business motivations, what are the expected outcome, and then you look into your journey. Journey, that means from the starting of your organization, okay, if there's a product, you develop your product, and then you test your product, you do a marketing, you do sales, and then they will execute your sales, and then you have after sales, and then the cycle goes on. Okay, so be it for healthcare or manufacturing, every organization or industry have their own journey. Okay, the healthcare will have the patient journey. The patient journey, you need to look into people who go to the hospital or the clinic are people who are sick. And nowadays, people who are not sick also go to the hospital. Why? Why? Check up, want to have a good lifestyle, want to maintain a good, health before you get sick. Okay, and now also becoming a lifestyle. Okay. Similarly, for your manufacturing and so on, so you have the whole supply chain from demand, order, to manufacturing, to handle your upstream, downstream, and so on. Okay, so these are the things that will be covered in this workshop. So at least you know where to start. Okay, in your AI journey using enterprise architecture. All right. So with that, I thank you very much for your kind attention.